Morning students, how are you all? I hope you all are keeping fine. Today we will begin the supplementary movements. The first lesson, The Lost Child. It is written by Mulk Raj Anand, an Indian writer in English. This short story is about a child who goes along with his parents for a spring festival. It is from a rural background. The child was so excited to go for this village fair, spring festival. He was attracted by many things in the fair, especially he was attracted by toys, sweets, then garlands, flowers, garlands, balloons, then a snake charmer playing the flute, and finally he was attracted by a roundabout. So each time he lagged behind his parents, and the parents were giving a cautionary call, "Come child, come." And whenever he reached in front of something so attractive, he stayed back. He was asking for his parents to buy and give. But parents never bothered him, did not give heed to him, and they did not buy and give. The father was rather rude, mother was very gentle and kind. So, finally, the child get lost in the crowd, and his parents went away, and he was crying. A stranger from the crowd came and took him, and he was asking him what he wanted, and he was ready to buy and give anything, sweets, flowers, balloons, but he was not at all willing to get anything from him, but he was crying, only asking for I want my father, I want my mother. Only that was the answer that he was giving. So students, the theme of the story is that the universality of children's desire to have something when they see, and another message that the writer wants to convey is that often we don't understand the value of our parents. The significance of our parents is understood or realized when they are out of sight. When we don't have the parents only, we realize their value. So we should not take our parents for granted. They do hard work. Some of your parents are in abroad, working hard throughout the year. Maybe once in a year they come for holidays. They do lot of sacrifice in order to maintain the family, in order to look after the needs of the family. The father, the breadwinner, he has to work hard and earn money in order to look after the family. And once in a way they come for holidays to be with the wife and children. We should not forget the fact that our parents are doing hard work for us, and we should be happy and grateful to our parents. We should love them, obey them, and show our gratitude towards them. As students, it is your duty to concentrate on your studies and listen to your parents and teachers. So students, we shall begin the lesson, the story, The Lost Child. Please take your textbook. The Lost Child. A child goes to a fair with his parents. He is happy and excited and wants the sweets and toys displayed there. But his parents don't buy them for him. Why then does he refuse when someone else offers them to him? It was the festival of spring. From the wintry shades of narrow lanes and alleys emerged a gaily clad humanity. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So it was a festival of spring. Spring comes in the month of February, March. So there was a village fair. From the wintry shades, that is in the winter season, the narrow lanes were full of shades, and the alleys emerged a gaily clad community. People came out of the cold shades of their house happily because they were very happy to go for the fair. Some walked, some rode on horses, others sat, being carried in bamboo and bullock carts. So the people were going through by different means of transport. Some were walking, some were going riding on horses, and some were carried in a bamboo and bullock carts. So they were going, all of them were there was a big crowd going from village for the fair. One little boy ran between his father's legs, brimming over with life and laughter. So this little boy, his name is not mentioned in the story. He goes along with his parents, and he was so happy and excited, enjoying the outing. "Come, child, come," called his parents as he lagged behind, fascinated by the toys in the shops that lined the way. So as they moved along the road, there were different items displayed. So the boy, when he saw near a toy shop, he remained there. He was lagging behind his parents. His parents went in front, and he was looking at the toys and remaining at the bike. Then the parents were giving a cautionary call, "Come, child, come," giving him a warning, asking him to come with the parents. He hurried towards his parents, his feet obedient to their call, his eyes still lingering on the preceding toys. As he came to where they had stopped to wait for him, he could not suppress the desire of his heart, even though he well knew the old cold stare of refusal in their eyes. He hurried. When the parents called, he hurried by to the parents, his feet obedient to their call. He was very obedient to his parents, but his eyes were always lingering on the toys that he wanted. He could not suppress or control his desires of his heart, and then he knew that his parents would not buy and give. Still he kept on asking the parents that, "I want the toy. I want that toy," he pleaded. He requested the parents to buy and give him a toy. His father looked at him red-eyed in his familiar tyrant's way. His mother, melted by the free spirit of the day, was tender, and giving him her finger to hold, said, "Look, child, what is before you." So when the boy asked for the toy, the father was very harsh man, a tyrant, a cruel man. He looked at the boy with red eyes. He was very strict with him, whereas his mother was very soft and kind-hearted. She was giving her finger to hold and asking the child to look what is before him, look at the way and walk. It was a flowery mustard field, pale like melting gold as it swept across miles and miles of even land. So they were passing through a mustard field. It was expanded It was extended through miles and miles, and they could see the beautiful shade of these mustard flowers like melted gold. It was very attractive. A group of dragonflies were bustling about on their gaudy purple wings, intercepting the flight of a lone black bee or butterfly in search of sweetness from the flowers. So, as they went about, a group of dragonflies were bustling. They were full of activity. They were going about making sound and moving about in the air, and they were intercepting means obstructing the flight of a black bees and these butterflies. They were obstructing their flight in the air because the dragonflies were in large in groups. So these butterflies were in search of sweetness and the flowers. The child followed them in the air with his gaze till one of them would still his wings and rest, and he would try to catch it. So he was going behind these dragonflies, going to catch it with his when it was trying to sit or remain on some plant, he was slowly going and catching the dragonfly. But it would go fluttering, flapping up into the air when he had almost caught it in his hands. Then his mother gave a cautionary call, "Come, child, come on to the footpath." He was going out of the way in the field catching these butterflies or these dragonflies, and as he was nearing just close to the dragonfly and about to catch it, then it would fly away. Then mother was giving the cautionary call, "Come, child, come onto the way." They were calling, come on to the footpath. He ran towards his parents gaily and walked abreast of them for a while, being, however, soon left behind, attracted by the little insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. So, again, when the parents called, he ran towards them happily, and he was walking by the side of them for some time, and again he was left behind, attracted by the insects and worms along the footpath that were teeming out, means pouring out from their hiding places to enjoy the sunshine. As the sunshine was there, they were coming out to enjoy the sunshine, and he was just going behind these insects and worms. "Come, child, come," his parents called from the shade of a grove where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well. He ran towards them. So again, "Come, child, come," his parents reminded, and they sat in the shade of a grove. Grove is a garden, where they had seated themselves on the edge of a well, under the shade of a tree. They sat down, and this time also he ran towards them when they called him. A shower of young flowers fell upon the child as he entered the grove, and forgetting his parents, he began to gather the raining petals in his hands. But sitting under the tree was full of flowers and petals were raining down, and he was keeping his hands and collecting the petals that were falling from the tree. He forgot about his parents for a moment, but lo, he heard the cooing of doves and ran towards his parents, shouting, the dove, the raining petals dropped from his forgotten hands. He was so excited he himself did not know what he was doing. This time he has forgotten about the raining petals that he collected in his hands when he saw the doves moving around, and he was calling his parents and telling them dove, dove, because they were making cooing means sound produced by doves. So by hearing that, and he had forgotten about the raining petals, the petals of flowers that he had collected in his hands. Come, child, come, they called to the child, who had now gone running in wild capers round the banyan tree, and gathering him up, they took the narrow, winding footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. Now again the parents were giving him warning, calling him, come, child, come. They were now this child was now running in wild capers. That means he was dancing in a dancing movement going around the banyan tree, and the parents took him and called him, and they took the very narrow line footpath which led to the fair through the mustard fields. Through the mustard fields they took a narrow line and they went to the fair. As they neared the village, the child could see many other footpaths full of thorns converging to the whirlpool of the fair, and felt at once repelled and fascinated by the confusion of the world he was entering. So as they neared, they were almost reaching near the village where the fair is going on. The child could see many other footpaths. There were many footpaths coming, converging towards. That means a meeting or gathering at the center of the fair. And he felt very much repelled. Repelled means driven away. And also he was fascinated by attracted by the confusion of the world he was entering. There were a big crowd, many people gathered there in the fair, and he was very much excited or fascinated by it. A sweet meat seller hawked gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi at the corner of the entrance, and a crowd pressed round his counter at the foot of an architecture of many colored sweets decorated with leaves of silver and gold. Now this time they reached in front of a sweet meat seller. He was hawked means he was advertising for the sale of sweet. He was calling out loudly, calling the people to attract the people. He was calling gulab jamun, rasgulla, burfi, jalebi, the different varieties of sweets that he had in the shop, and they were arranged in a very beautiful manner. For an architecture, very beautifully arranged and with different colors sweet. And there was a big crowd in front of his shop, as it was decorated and very attractive with leaves of silver and gold. The child stared open-eyed and his mouth watered for the burfi. That was his favorite sweet. I want that burfi, he slowly murmured, but he half knew as he begged that his plea would not be heeded because his parents would say he was greedy. So without waiting for an answer, he moved on. So this time he was attracted towards the burfi, a special kind of sweet. He liked it, it was his favorite sweet. So he asked for it, asking his parents, I want that burfi. But before he asked himself, he knew that his parents would not buy for it, but still he asked for it. And he knew that his parents would say that he was very greedy. We don't know why the parents refused. Perhaps they might have been very poor they did not have money. So if you compare to today's world, whatever the children ask, the parents provide. But in those days, especially if the child is from a poor family, the parents might not have had enough money to provide him with all that he wanted. A man stood holding a pole with yellow, red, green and purple balloons flying from it. The child was simply carried away by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, and he was filled with an overwhelming desire to possess them all. So this time he stopped in front of a balloon shop where a man was holding a pole with different colors of balloons, yellow, red, green, purple, and they were flying from this pole. The child was simply carried away. He was attracted by the rainbow glory of their silken colors, soft colors, and he was filled with a very strong emotion of having a great desire to possess them all. But he well knew his parents would never buy him the balloons because they would say he was too old to play with such toys. So he walked on further. So before he asked for the balloons, he knew that his parents may not buy for him because they would say that he is too old to play with such balloons and toys. So he was hesitating to ask, but still he asked for it and he walked further. So students, read the passage till what is taught. I hope you understood the story. It is written in simple language. You can go through it once. So students, thank you. Have a wonderful day.